Hi guys, how's it going? My name's Dan, this is Shanil. We are back together once again and we are going to be doing a kind of 1 year update to the Insta360 One R. So we've not quite had it a year. I think we got it in November, right? I got mine towards the end of November.
Sometime around then.
Yeah, it was definitely, it was a little bit before it was released. So it's been almost a year, so we're just basically going to give a quick update on how we've used it, how it's improved, what the pros and cons of the camera are. I know I've been taking it traveling a lot. I've been lucky enough to go traveling before the current situation. I traveled quite a lot with it. I know Shanil's been using it a lot on his channel for different filming techniques and stuff, and we'll go into what you've been doing with the camera later. It's all really good stuff. So yeah, we're just going to do a very quick update review. Hopefully tell you everything you need to know and go through some of the software updates that this camera has had. In case you're new to this camera, we'll just go through it very quickly. The Insta360 One R is a modular action camera. It currently has 3 different modules. You can switch out the lenses, put new lenses in, and it's a 360 camera, but it's also a normal action camera. It has the ability to stabilize video really well. The app for the camera features loads of automatic editing modes. It's supposed to make editing your video super easy, super quick. If you want to know more about this camera, check out some of my other videos. I will link below, but this is mostly an updated review, so you probably already know everything there is about this camera so far.
This month there's been a huge update with the Insta360 One R. There is such a massive list of updates which you need to know about. They make such a big difference to how you use the camera, and so much improvement since it released. So the first improvement is called Pure Shot, which is using AI techniques to get the best photo quality out of your Insta360 One R. So they've introduced a new color profile called Vivid, which is going to make the video quality look sharper with a higher bitrate as well, and the colors look much more vibrant than it used to. And there's also been an update that you can use the One R as a webcam, so you can use it on Zoom chats and any other software like Skype. There's also been an update called Aquavision, which makes underwater content look even better.
This update should be pretty accurate leading up until Christmas. So yeah, this is the state of the camera now. Let's go into it. So what we're going to do is, because this camera is modular and has all these different parts and all these different lenses, I thought what would be a good idea is if we just go through each one and to kind of review it individually, because what may be great from one lens, one module, may not be so good in another. So we're just going to go through them individually. I'm just going to give my opinion and then you can give yours, and then we'll see what we think. So let's start with this 360 module. The 360 module basically allows this camera to be a 360 camera, which Insta360 started out like that. That's what they're well known for. And it shoots 5.7K. It's 5.7K video at 25, 24 and 30 frames per second. It also has other video resolution options, 4K at 50 frames per second, 3K at 100 frames per second, so there are very many video resolution options. What I like about the 360 module in this camera is how good the stabilization is. That's what really makes it amazing. That's what I use it for when I am going out traveling, when I am shooting interesting shots. You don't really have to worry about how you move the camera, where you're putting it. It always corrects for any movement, any sudden movements, any vibrations. I found it to be close to perfect when it comes to stabilizing footage. When I first got the camera, it was a little bit dull, I think, the color profiles, and that was a bit of a complaint for me, but they've certainly upgraded that. And overall, I think the video looks pretty good. I still personally prefer the GoPro Max when it just comes to color, when it comes to how good the image looks, but in many ways, the One R has so many more options and so much more available on its editing app to make use of the 360 element that I think is probably worth getting this rather than the Max right now. What do you think?
Well, you can either, when you buy it, you can either get it like that, which is straight out of the box, but the way I prefer to use it is actually with the boosted battery. And with this mod, there's no cage, so it's just easier to swap things in and out. The battery life is now, for me, all day. It lasts over 2 hours of recording time. So in terms of filming, I find this a dream to work with. Obviously with the thicker body, the stitch line is not as good as the One X. You still get the red dot. But now with the new update, I am really impressed with the color. I'm really impressed with the sharpness. I really love it. and I think it's up there with the GoPro Max.
Yeah.
It's such a huge difference. I love this form factor just because you get so much battery and really good color and resolution. Yeah, I think it's really good.
Yeah, it's definitely grown on me like quite a lot over the past year. To be honest, at first I was a bit frustrated with it and it wasn't the best workflow. And to be honest, I haven't got this set up and I do use this cage and I do find taking it apart and everything a bit annoying. Standard package is 360 and 4K module. I've used this again for traveling. It's supposed to be kind of an alternative to a GoPro. You know, it's a normal standard vlogging camera, I would say. It shoots 4K video. It works underwater, much like the other modules do. I've not used it that much, to be perfectly honest, simply because I bought it to use as a 360 camera, and if I want to shoot in 4K flat video, I'll just use my phone, and my phone tends to look better than this 4K module does. The only time I've used it is to shoot underwater because I don't want to risk damaging my phone. And it did actually work really well. I think I went to Hawaii and I took it underwater and in some, tropical air, not rainforest. What's it called? No, coral reef.
Yeah.
I took it into a coral reef and I think it works way better than I expected it to. But to be honest, I wasn't super excited about it. I'm still not that excited about it really. But it comes with a camera. It's fine if you want a basic option for vlogging, but I probably won't use this that much.
Well, you get it with the twin edition, so it's only like 20 quid more, I believe.
You may as well get it. Yeah, it's like you may as well get it because it's not not super expensive, but it's nice to have, but I wouldn't it's not the main reason to buy the camera.
No, I do think it's a really good option. If you've got the Insta360 mic adapter, you can plug it in and then kind of film yourself walking around if you don't want to go for the full 360 view. So I definitely think it's worth getting with the twin edition, and with the 1-inch, you see a serious increase in video quality compared to the 4K.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I'm probably not going to use this much anymore, because since I bought the other module available, which is the 1-inch module, yeah, the quality is so much better and it's just like leagues better, especially in low light, especially.
It's ridiculously sharp.
Willing to edit a little bit, like color correction, and really don't need to do that much. You can really get some almost cinematic footage from a camera that's this small, and just I would say like 5 years ago you would have needed like a DSLR or a mirrorless to get something like this. Like your phone is not going to be able to beat what this 1-inch module can do.
You get the higher bit rate, which is 100 megabits per second. So before you used to get those artifacting with the grass because it was way too sharp, that's all gone. So for me, this is insanely good. The only downside is the 100 centimeter minimum distance
Yeah,
thing.
so anything too close is going to be it's not going to be in focus as well as it should be. So it is more of a B-roll, it's a like perfect B-roll camera, or like camera for shooting, buildings or landscapes. Or
yeah, you basically got to point this camera this way and not this way, because if you're going to film yourself, you're going to be blurry.
My favorite thing about the 1-inch lens, and actually this whole setup, the One R, is the slow motion options. I'm just a very big fan of slow motion in general, and you can shoot 4K at 60 frames per second, or 50 frames per second. Sorry, I believe. And while that's not the highest frame rate in the world, it is for the size of the camera and the fact that it's like a travel vlogging camera, and you can shoot that resolution at that frame rate and slow it down, and it's silky smooth and it looks as good as we've been discussing. I think that's like really amazing that that's possible. We should also mention the photography capabilities of the One R, because while this is definitely a video camera more than anything, it's not exactly a slouch when it comes to taking photos, particularly with the 1-inch module. I think if you were interested in shooting high quality images with a camera that's shaped like an action cam, a very small compact camera, then the 1-inch module, you'd probably be best to get that. Because of the 1-inch sensor in that module, it can also take pretty impressive images, especially if you are out at night. 1-inch module is actually a
pretty good photography camera. There have been firmware updates and app updates that have improved the photography capabilities of the camera. There's something called Night Shot, which basically merges several images together to make a very dynamic image, and especially again working well in low light. The camera can shoot in RAW mode, so if you wanted to edit your images in Lightroom, you'll be able to do that, and you'll be able to really get some decent quality images. With the 360 mod, the images aren't quite as good quality, but you can reframe them, you can do whatever you want with them. Obviously you're capturing in 360. All of those modes that I just mentioned are also available for the 360 mod. So again, there have been some updates that have really improved the photography capabilities. The One R has also become compatible with Matterport, so if you were looking for a virtual tour camera, this would be a decent option just because of that compatibility. I would say it's not the best 360 camera for virtual tours right now. Certainly cameras like the Ricoh Theta Z1 shoot higher quality images, but if you wanted something that's an all-in-one camera that you can do both, then the One R again is a pretty good all-rounder. Now, we can't really do a review of the One R without mentioning the app. It is one of its strongest and weakest features. I mean, if you go into the App Store, you will see it doesn't have a particularly good rating. However, when it does work, it works really well. There are so many video modes, so many automatic video editing options. There is this Shot Lab, which allows you to create really cool effects. There have been more added all the time. Some of my favorite ways of shooting with the One R is with this Shot Lab effects. It literally lets you edit your video all in mobile, all really quickly, and you can create some really unique effects that really aren't possible with any other camera. The reason it has quite a low rating on the App Store, I think, is because there are some compatibility issues. There are some issues with, basically you need a pretty powerful phone to get all of this to work, to get the best quality. If you have an old phone or a weaker phone, then you may probably experience some crashes, some stuttering, some features may not be available all the time. If you have a powerful modern phone, then you should really get along well with the app, and I think it is one of its strongest features, and it is improving pretty much all the time. To be fair, they do update quite often.
That's why it really grew on me over this year, is all this editing options, software options. That's really what makes it a good camera in my opinion. So some of the things I don't like about this camera, because let's face it, nothing is perfect. There is no perfect device or camera. I'm not trying to sell it to you, because there are things I don't like about this camera. It's the modular nature of it. While that is also a positive because it allows you to swap things out, and basically it becomes one of the most versatile cameras ever because you can do so many different things. The fact that you have to, at least with this setup with the cage, you have to take it all apart, put it back together. There's like four pieces in your hand at the same time. They don't give you any bags or anything to put the lenses in. It's very easy to drop things or to misplace things. I find it a bit tiresome and a bit frustrating, especially when you're out shooting. So the battery life is pretty poor. Also, this is fixed somewhat with the new battery. This is just the standard one that you get, so I'm just reviewing that essentially. There's a door that seals the SD card and the charging port. For me, it's very flimsy. It's fallen out a few times. It's hard to close. It's just a minor design issue, but it's something that's annoying. So just bear these things in mind. You can deal with the fact that the app can be a little bit buggy sometimes. You need a powerful phone really to use all of the features. You probably need quite a powerful laptop or desktop to render the highest quality footage. If you have all of that, then there's no reason why you shouldn't enjoy this camera.
Yeah, I think my take is similar. I think that I don't like the cage. That's why I went for this setup, because you don't have to worry about the cage, it works. But it's not waterproof like this. You need the cage to make it waterproof, so it pushes all the modules down so that water doesn't go in between it. And also, because it's got a thicker body, stitch line is not as good as the One X, and also you still got the red dot of death. So for me, that sums up all the bad things about it. The thing that I love about this compared to any other camera, I think, is the workflow. I think this is the first time I've been filming and editing my short Instagram videos all on my phone. So I've never had to go to a desktop to actually publish something to Instagram. I actually just film it on this, put it on my phone. I don't even download the footage to my phone. I leave it on the camera. I can edit it and then put it on social media straight away. And I think that for me made me use this even more and more, because it takes less time to get stuff out there.
Yeah, the best thing about this camera is definitely the workflow and definitely how quickly you can get interesting, good quality footage just straight from the camera onto wherever you want to put it. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. I think we've pretty much gone through all the updates that have come to this camera in the past year, how it's changed, and whether it's, you know, what we've been using it for. I've obviously just shown you a lot of footage from both of us, what we've been doing with it. Yeah, if you're interested in this camera, then now's as good a time as any. Like I said, it's just been a big update. So yeah, that's basically it. So if you want to see footage shot with this camera, like Shanil's channel, like he's so good at he's better than me at using this camera. So many cool tricks and different ways of shooting with different accessories and in different ways. So, you know, what's your channel? Where can people find you?
Yeah, well, check out YouTube channel Best360 and you'll find me there.
Yeah, I will put a link where you can see that. Like, honestly, he has so much stuff on his channel about this camera, so if you want to learn how to use it properly, that is the best place to go. The world comes back to normal, I will try and do more traveling with my camera. Definitely going to make more travel stuff, so yeah, check out my channel as well. Subscribe if you want to see that. We're going to go and make another video now about, well, about using this camera in many cool different ways. So yeah, stay tuned for the next video. It's going to be cool. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for meeting up again and doing these reviews that we do every now and then. It's fun, yeah, to use these cameras with someone who actually knows what they are, as opposed to almost everyone who I ever showed this camera
it's
to.
It's fun to be out again since lockdown
Oh, it's
began,
just fun to be outside, yeah. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for joining us. See you next time. Bye.
Peace out.